Hello, Taurus, and welcome to your reading for the week of November 13th through 19th, 2023. Again, if you're watching this in a different week and you're called to see this reading, that's okay. It's whenever you watch this is when there's a message for you if you're watching this. This could be if you're a Taurus sun, have Taurus in your moon, and your ascendant, some other prominent place in your chart if you know your chart. We're going to start with looking at the cartouche cards, and I do things in what they call an astrological formation. I use cartouche, and this week I'm also clarifying with the tarot deck of the Aleister Crowley Thoth deck. So let's see what's in the cards for you this week. Okay, and let's see. Okay, so let's see what we got. Taurus. What's coming up for Taurus this week? Okay. Okay. A lot of threes in this reading. Threes are about collaborations, sometimes ending collaborations. Okay, we ended up with two other ones in the center. All right, so let's begin at the beginning. First house of your reading has to do with Aries energy. So this is about who you are, how you present yourself to the world, how others see you. And yeah, you got exactly the same card as Aries. You got fire. So this is about putting yourself out there, really allowing yourself to shine, to be inspired. And also this is about burning up or getting rid of things that no longer serve you or no longer aspects of your identity or yourself that that they're things that you want to clear up, get rid of, not identify with anymore. So there's definitely a little bit of a purification that's going on there. You have it with the Princess of Cups, which is the same as the Page of Cups. And this is the idea of this may be a new emotional beginning for you. You may be in an emotional spot. You may have a lot of passion about a person or situation or something, because sometimes this indicates like messages of new love and things like that. But I think the Page of Cups here is more like you're at an emotional new beginning. You may be feeling somewhat vulnerable. And so as part of this, you've kind of got this purging process that's going on, so that you can really shine through. But you are kind of at the beginning here, so you might be feeling a bit vulnerable right now. Second house has to do with your house, Taurus energy. Okay, and we've got the Five of Swords with water. So this is the house of money. So right now, I think you might be feeling limited financially. Water means that money may be flowing in and it may be flowing out again just as fast. So, it's more like the check comes in and then it's already committed to something here. Five of Swords, when this comes up, sometimes this indicates a quarrel or a no-win situation or something. But I always feel like what's coming into my mind is the defeat is more in your mind than in the environment. Like I feel like this is more like you're feeling restricted. What I'm hearing is if you feel restricted, you will be. Like you want to. We're going to take a look at some of your other money-making houses and so forth, and other financial things. But this says to me, that you want to let go of self-imposed limitations, defeatist attitudes when it comes to money. I mean, you still might be kind of holding your own right now a little bit with this when this comes in, or if your money's good, then it might just be that there could become some big expense or something. Maybe it's going to come up, and you might see money, going out very, very fast. But but I feel like this is something. So this is something that you might be. I think this might be part of what's making you feel somewhat vulnerable right now. There might be a little bit of a sense of insecurity, and we'll see where that gets addressed later in the reading. Third house is Gemini energy. So if you are in your own business, this is the house of self-effort. This is a house of communication, technology, siblings in your neighborhood and things like that, and also short-term travel, like short distances. And you've got Ta with the Aeon card. Now, Aeon is the same as Judgment for those of you following traditional tarot. Now, Ta has to do with putting hard work in. This is the card of Capricorn. It's literally rolling up your sleeves and getting your hands dirty. And this is a card of decisions or judgments. This is like waking up to something. Judgment, the Aeon is, seeing something for what it is and being able to make decisions based on the big picture. So if you're in business, there may be a lot of work you're putting in right now. And this may be based on some decisions that you've made recently or decisions that you need to make. But there definitely seems, again, kind of like this fire card. This to me is like this idea of what stays and what goes. What do we release and what do we need to move ahead into the future? And being the Judgments card 20 of the Major Arcana, this almost feels like you're at the end of a process and, now you're kind of making a final evaluation of something. If it's not specifically with a business, if you're not in your own business, this could have to just do with some kind of communication. It feels almost like it's related to work or administrative or red tape or something like that, or some project you're working on, where some final decisions may have to be made based on communications. Fourth house, you have, this is your Cancer energy. And so this has to do with your home, your environment, potentially your mother. But it's largely this has to do with your sense of security. And okay, you've got a couple of twos here. You've got the Twins and you've got the Dominion card, the Two of Wands. So again, there's this idea of decision, just like with this one. There's decisions that may need to be made about your home, about your environment. The Twins could mean somebody else is going to be involved in this decision. It could also mean that, I feel like your sense of security somehow is tied up in somebody else right now. You may be either leaning on somebody or you may be feeling I feel like the word support's coming into mind. Like you feel like you need somebody to maybe support you here. And with this card, Dominion is about kind of going it alone, like doing it on your own. Although the twos do point you in the direction of collaboration, and we do have a lot of threes in this reading. So there may be something that you maybe shouldn't undertake alone. Okay, but also recognize the power that you have in this situation. The number two definitely seems important here as well, because 22 plus 0 adds up to 2, and then we have a 2 here. So that seems to be potentially significant there. Okay, fifth house is Leo energy. This has to do with creativity, potentially with children, or with love affairs, if either of those things apply to you. If there's a situation. Okay, so we've got Seth here. This indicates a situation that is blocked or obstructed. So again, this could have to do with a project. This could have to do with something related to a child of yours, or it could have to do with a love affair. Maybe it's something that's not going the way you want it to. Maybe it's something that you feel. Yeah, I feel like with this one, like you might be maybe trying to reach out to somebody and it's not going the way you want it to. I don't know. Like there's some kind of an obstacle to moving forward. And the second card to go with this, because whenever I draw this one, I always draw second, is Urias. And this kind of indicates a situation that's not what it appears to be. And I actually feel like this is a good card, because Urias usually means that we may be interpreting something as very, very negative, but actually it's just because we're not seeing the big picture. There's something hidden here. But Urias is always good. If there is something about somebody who's quote like an enemy or doesn't have your best interest, Urias always indicates getting the best of that person or overcoming something. So I don't know. There could be something here. Like I said, it could relate to a project. It could relate to something with one of your children. It could, or maybe something a child is doing, or it could have to do with potentially with a love affair if that applies to you. And we have it with the Four of Wands, which is the card of completion. So, I don't know, this indicates kind of an initial stage of something being done, and I feel like this might indicate that there's some anxiety or there's some obstacles to moving on to the next stage, okay? So that might be what this is about, but I feel like Urias is saying you may not be as stuck here as you think you are. Okay, sixth house is Virgo energy, and that has to do with your health, potentially your job, like this house of service. It has to do with worry and anxieties that you have, and potentially with pets as well. Okay. We have the universe here. This is another card of ending, and this is a successful ending to something. Okay, something is finishing up, and you have it with Osiris though, and Osiris is like almost like an emperor type card. It's a card of security, establishing a foundation, being able to rely on your judgment. So I feel like something here may be coming to an end, but Okay, what's coming into my mind with this, because your Osiris here is like represented like a tree, it's almost like something is kind of solid or stuck in place. And so there's an ending, and I believe there's a solid foundation here to something. And it could be, like I said, it could be a job, it could be a health situation, it could be some other kind of worry that you have. But there's the sense that something is most definitely coming to an end. So I feel like if there's this sense of standing still or being stuck, it's either you're in this transition phase between what's finished and where you're going, or it's saying that you have a solid foundation in something, or something perhaps has been solid. So for instance, if you're thinking of leaving a job, this could mean, okay, you did a good job, you established a solid foundation, maybe you've got a good solid reference, but maybe it's time for you to move on to something else. This is definitely that has this feel of some phase of your life coming to an end, but a successful end, not a negative or a crisis type of an end. So take that as it resonates. Seventh house is Libra energy. And Libra is, of course, about partnerships. It could be business partnerships. And there's very strong element of business partnership here, because we have the Three of Pentacles with the Earth card. So there's something very strongly financial about this. So if you're a married person, this could have to do with your spouse as well. But this is the idea of building something with somebody. There's that 3, right? And we saw that kind of down here with the 2s. But the 3 is about collaborating, about pooling your resources, and about laying foundations. And this, of course, is very much a card about foundations and laying foundations. So I feel like if this is about a love relationship, this is about, taking the time to lay a solid foundation for something. Could mean an earth sign person coming into potentially for somebody. That's not necessarily the case. But I feel like there's a strong solidity here, like something is slowly being built. So whether this has to do with a business partnership, whether this has to do with your partner if you're married, or whether this has to do with a love relationship, if you're trying to get into a serious one, this may be something that's taking its time and needs to be built up. Okay, 8th house is a house of transformation. And yeah, again, this is Scorpio energy. And we've got Nephthys with the 3 of Swords. So the 3 of Swords is about severing ties, okay? It's about some kind of an ending. It's called the card of sorrow. And this could be about us healing from past wounds, past hurts, maybe breakups that we've had. But we have it with Nephthys. And Nephthys is about what is uncertain, what is unknown. Again, like with Urias, there's something that's not been revealed yet. There's something that's waiting to happen, but it's not here. At the same time, I feel like there's been this severance, like, again, this idea of something that's come to an end. So something is ending. This is a very liminal reading to me. Liminal tarot, this is a liminal reading. This is the idea that you are on the threshold of something, but you're still kind of in this place of letting this sorrow go, and you're still waiting to see what the new thing is. That's kind of an annoying place to be. I mean, it's not uncommon, but what's annoying about it is that, when something has to end, we're like, okay, I can work with this ending, but please tell me but please let me see what the new thing is. Let's not dwell on just the loss. Let's move ahead. But sometimes we don't have enough information to move ahead, and it can take time. Okay. 9th house, this is about expanding your horizons, long distance travel, things like that. And yeah, this is the interference card. This is an entirely mental energy, because when you're dealing with sword energy, you're dealing with mental energy. So somebody is stuck in their head about something. Somebody is, you may be, like I said, if you're thinking about traveling, or if you're thinking about going back to school, or if there's just some major change that you want to make, different way of looking at things, you may just feel like you're boxed in, like you don't have options. Maybe if you're thinking about traveling and you don't have money, maybe you're feeling like, I don't know what I'm going to do. But we have the Crook and Flail here. So the Crook and Flail indicates that you should be confident. This does indicate a raise in status. Sometimes this is also the house of legal things. So for somebody, this could be a legal matter. So either the legal matter is making it hard for you to move ahead in some fashion. Some people, this can literally be jail, but I don't think that applies to everybody here. But there's this idea of some kind of a legal matter that either you're worried about, or maybe leaving you up in your head. But if it's not a legal matter specifically, it just to me indicates the idea of needing to increase your visibility. It also indicates being on the right side of something, okay? Like this has a very strong justice component to it. It's the idea that you are on the right side of the law or of a particular situation. So yeah, I don't know. I just feel like there's a need to remain disciplined, remain confident. I feel like is the advice of this card. You've also got 1 plus 7 is 8 plus 8. So the number 8 may be important in resolving whatever this situation is. But there's definitely a need with Taurus here to kind of get out of your head in terms of not, I feel like this is somebody who feels very, very restricted for legal reasons or for just, I don't know, maybe just not being confident that you can move ahead with something. Okay, 10th house is Capricorn, and this has to do with your job, your career. Well, really your career. This is about reputation and how how you're seen, how you make your way in the world. And yeah, so we have Bastet. This is interesting because Aries got this as well. Bast is the happiness card. So there's this idea of, I feel like this is a situation, again, for some people, this has to do with like a career like in the music or dancing or something with the arts. But I think more fundamentally, Bast has to do with following your intuition on something, trying to create your own happiness in terms of what you're doing, socializing, getting along with other people. We have it with the 7 of Pentacles, which in the Crowley deck is called the card of failure, but it's not about failure. It's more about the attitude we have of we're looking at everything and saying, look at all this effort I've put in. Is it actually worth it? Okay. And that's where so we start having these thoughts of failure, like I've come this far and I'm not seeing the fruits that I want to see. But the 7 of Pentacles is about, but I feel like it's also a card of patience. Again, I'm seeing a lot of this sense of patience of like, something with like career, something with the home, something with maybe even with a love affair for some people. It just seems like there's a lot with you, Taurus, that's going very, very slow right now. And there needs to be some momentum that picks up. But I feel more like with this card that this means that, it's just a matter of being patient until you get where you want in your career area. There's something that you're still waiting on. 11th house. Okay, this is your goals, hopes, wishes, and your friendships. And yeah, it's interesting. Sirius also came up for Aries here. But you have the 4 of discs or 4 of pentacles here. And this is the card of power. So yeah, first of all, this can be a card of establishing a foundation, a very solid foundation. It can also be a card of hanging on to something too tightly. I feel like with regard to your wishes, there is again a need to think outside the box. There may be some work that needs to be put in, but you may just be trying to hold your ground right now, especially if money is tight. But ultimately, this will say that what you give up is going to be, it's better to, when you give something up, the gain is going to be greater. So you don't want to hold on to things too tightly. You don't want to have this restrictive attitude that says, I can't move ahead because I have to worry about money. Like my money situation right now is what it's going to be forever. And that's just not the case. In fact, you've got number 13 here. 1 plus 3 is 4. Plus you've got a 4 here. So what's coming into my mind is that somehow in 4, and you've got a 4 down here too. It just seems like 4 is going to be, I've seen 3s here, but I'm also seeing this 4. So there's definitely a strong sense that you've solidly completed at least the initial stages of something and you are ready to move ahead. But this will require some work and it will require you to think outside the box a little bit. It might even, again, because this is the Aquarius card in the Aquarius house, so I feel like this has to do with, and if it's a house of friendship, then yeah, this even could potentially be friends or people in your network who might also be helping you you think outside the box and get out of this kind of miserly attitude of the 4 of discs, potentially miserly attitude. But you may feel like you want to kind of hold your own right now. Okay, 12th house, this is Pisces. So this is the house of what we fear, what's unconscious, what's hidden. For some people, it can be a house of foreign travel too. Okay, so you've got change coming here. So yeah, this, just like we saw, so it's funny, we got Nephthys over here, which is unseen, but we've got the major change going on here. And we've got the Sun here too, which is the happiest card in the deck. This is a card of clarity, okay? So I feel like with this is saying that there is some fundamental change going on that right now is hidden. It's even hidden from you, but it's going to bring a lot of clarity, whatever it is. And it's going to bring happiness. And this is a fundamental change in you. This is not just about something in your environment changing. This is about you fundamentally changing as a person. And that may be why things are in a bit of upheaval right now. Taurus is definitely affected heavily regardless of which decan of Taurus you're born in, whether you're doing the first 10 days, second or third set of 10 days within Taurus. everybody's affected by Uranus and Taurus. So this feels very much to me like there may be some upheaval, there may be some uncertainty, there may be more changes coming, and God knows if you've been dealing with Uranus and Taurus that you've been dealing with a lot of that. I happen to be Taurus, and I've been dealing with a lot of that. So, and it just seems to be endless at this point. So yes, there may be worries about more changes and so forth, but I feel like the transformations that are going on right now are going to lead you to where you want to be. And yeah, this is great because you have this other sun card, which is the wing disc, right in the center of your reading. So this means whatever problems are indicated here, you're going to overcome them. You have it with both the 6 and the 7 of Wands. 6 of Wands is a card of victory, about being recognized, about having success. And then you're moving from 6 to 7, where you can stand firm and stand in your own power. So I feel like the message for you this week, Taurus, is not to let yourself get discouraged about maybe the fact that things are going slowly. It does seem like you're going to be, don't get rid of defeatist attitudes in terms of money. And it does feel like that, if you can get out of this kind of mental confines and just allow yourself to go with the flow, you're going to see where you're going to be led to this point of victory, towards this change. So yeah, important numbers here seem to be 3, 4, 7. Of course, 3 and 4 add up to 7 too, right? And I also see 8 here as well. So that I feel like 3 and 4, that's the 3 is about building foundations, 4 is completion of something, and 8 is definitely when you're getting near completion, near the 9s and the 10s. So there, you're at this stage of, again, moving ahead, reevaluating, and so forth. So, so that's it for this week, Taurus. Thank you so much. I hope you have a beautiful week, and until next week.